Hi, welcome back to Two Cells One Pack.
Today we're going to unbox and take a look at the new veteran Lynx.
That's too long. Come on. Let's see.
This box is not as good as the emotion box, so
Okay.
we're gonna have to lift
Charger.
it out the top. Something stuck in styrofoam.
What is this?
Another thing stuck in styrofoam.
Is it a stand?
Probably. One more thing stuck in styrofoam.
Kickstand? I don't know.
I feel like I'm unboxing a Chinese Christmas gift.
I don't know. We'll open them later. Too much. Wow, so naked. Zip tie? Okay, let's. Ow.
There's still more styrofoam.
More? Did they even put a wheel together?
No, we're gonna put it together.
Is the whole thing together?
This is how it works, right?
So like.
It's not like in motion.
Can just count the pieces later on. It is very naked. Super naked. Can you come closer?
Can we put on here?
Yes. Did it. So naked. Turn it around. Oh my. Tighten it.
Let's cut some zip ties off.
There we go. Wow. This is long. The mud guard. It's gonna fall.
Intense concentration.
It's so naked. Ow!
Did it actually hit you?
Huh?
Did it actually hit you?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. What is this?
It's a foam to hold it up.
Here. Oh, whoa. That's it?
That's it. That's the wheel.
Build your own.
It's like a
Did I break
it's like a
it?
patent
No,
and
I
a
didn't
Sherman
break
put
it, right?
together. I don't
It's
think so.
just-
Now, as you can see, they're using the CST tire. This is most likely the 186. Yeah. And you got a very similar, looks like the base mount is cast and the outside is CNC. Now this shock is a little bit different. We did notice that on the top here, you can see these two flathead screws. And surprisingly in the box, they also provided these excess springs. So I'm wondering if maybe they allow you to change the spring inside the shock now, instead of having to replace the whole shock assembly. I think that would be a really good touch.
That's a good idea.
Everything looks pretty good. This headlight looks a little bit more refined.
This is a little tail light.
The taillight reminds me of the patent. It's kind of cute.
So two.
Those two charge ports. So they're using GX25 pins. So same size as the 134 volt, but instead of 4 pin, it's now 5 pin. The motor does look very similar to the Sherman S motor. And I like this touch that they added, where they added these rubber covers for ergonomics so that you don't feel the shock towers on your legs. So that's a good touch. Also, the whole top mount, the suspension actually mounts through the control board holder, similar to the Patton, rather than the free-floating nature of the Sherman S. So it's very much so like a improved Patton Sherman baby, but the baby ended up being taller than both its parents at 151 volts. You still have the typical Leaperkin mudguard. If you want to get really detailed, it looks like they're using, similar to the Patton where it's a hex to remove it. So you could probably do your one-sided tire change like before. Now, an interesting thing to note is with the battery packs, they're actually symmetrical. So you can see that there's trolley handle poles on both sides, but they only put the poles on the one side. So for manufacturing purposes, both of these sides are exactly the same. It just depends on where you want to put your trolley handle. Let me remove this control board cover and see how the best way to wire manage this is. But also, we can take a peek inside. So they've actually improved on the structure a little bit compared to the Sherman S. They've added this ledge that actually fits right into the battery pack, so it's not only held on by the screws, but also held on physically by the metal. So that's a definite plus. It does make assembly a little bit harder. So I do have to remove these to line that up before I screw them down to the suspension. So as you can see, the control board sits in here and it's water sealed. Now, contrary to the design of the Sherman S and the Patton, they've now lifted it off the control board holder. So you can see that it's lifted up so that there's a vertical distance here so that water can't seep through, which is a really good improvement to see. Now, I like to see that Leaperkim does use quite robust terminals that handle really good power. Perfect. Now let's put the cover on. See if trolley handle can go afterwards.
Okay.
See if we can tuck this in here nicely. Similar to the Sherman S and Patton, you do have to tuck your wires and just make sure that you're not going to get them snagged on anything. So if you can tuck them out of the way, would be ideal. Just be very careful not to snag anything. The black cables are easy because it's just the connector, but the red cables require a little bit more attention as you have the fuse as well. So you can find an easy way to tuck it in there. And it looks like we're pretty close. Oh, it's just like that, I guess. Put some screws in. So put on the toe pads. Now it's held on by 4 screws, it looks like, all 4 millimeters. I have to say it is interesting that I did notice that Leaperkim got rid of their ratchet system. So now the Sherman S, Patton, and the Lynx all have different pedal systems. So for those aftermarket producers, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. So if you ever take apart your Lynx, this one is a 16 millimeter M4 or M5, and this one is actually a 22 millimeter. So, and then these ones are 12 mil.
All different.
Okay, let's do the other side. just stick it in and have it get stuck. I wish they put some sort of rubber to hold this in the holes as you kind of drop it to kind of help you align it. Because the pole doesn't align, you can't put it down into the trolley.
It's gonna sweat soon.
I don't know how they designed this. Maybe I can insert some pliers or something. There you go. Now let's do this side. There you go. So first impressions on the Lynx is very much so they took their learnings from the Patton and Sherman S and made it into one final product. The only thing that's kind of a little bit hard to deal with was the trolley handle pulls. So putting that rod in and having it fall out because there's no way to secure it at the top. It's a bit of a struggle putting that trolley on. On top of that, there's this charge port, which they've solved the Patton problem. But by solving it, they have this little ear hook, which is kind of, I don't know, it just kind of doesn't look great. But I mean, that's a small cherry to pick. Overall, the design elements where they have the symmetrical battery pack casings that they only have one mold for both sides saves them a lot. The kickstand and the toe pads and the handles are very Patton-like. However, they do have slots, so it sits in perfectly, and then you can screw it in without having to worry about alignment. So they really improved on that. The other thing to be concerned about is that remember that this is a really long screw, and that is a medium long screw, and the rest of these are all the same. So I believe these are 12s, that's a 16, and I believe that's a 20, but I can confirm that. I believe that's 20. Other than that, it still looks very Leaperkin, very Sherman-like, very Patton-like. But look forward to us turning it on and giving it a try. The one thing that they didn't change is the fact that this still isn't flush. So when you put power pads, you may still have this lip problem, but it's not as big as it was on the Patton. And it looks like you have way more adjustment on your toe pads in terms of the height. So you can actually go... I don't know if I know anyone's foot that is that small, unless you're a barefoot rider. But this is like barely 3 fingers.
My fit.
You think so?
Yeah.
So that is pretty good adjustment. I don't think the Patton adjusts that much. It's still a bit. There you go. I think you could still 3D print something to make it a little bit wider for those that like that extra width. And it's good that they got rid of the ratcheting system because I think that was a big wear and tear consideration. But there is still friction on here, so it doesn't flop around. And there's some sort of clicking, so I wonder what is causing that click. We have to take apart it and see what it's like inside. I don't have high hopes because these nubs look very rounded, so probably getting a set of E-Rides pedals or aftermarket pedals would be the way to go as soon as they're released. Oh, there's no transport mode? Interesting. There you go. Let's see what this headlight's like.
Oh, wow.
It still kind of blinds everyone. It still needs a top cutoff, hopefully, but it's actually not as bad as it used to be. So the beam is quite even. And then if you look at the tail lights, I think they're decently bright.
We got all lights on.
It does seem very tall. Yeah, it's like right under the knee.
The highest toe adjustment?
That's the highest.
Oh, but you have slippers
I
on.
have slippers on, yeah. Thank you again to Eevees, Bradley at Eevees, for giving us the opportunity to take a first look and put the batteries onto this new veteran Lynx. Overall, it's a very refined design.
I want to try it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit tall compared to any of the other Leaperkin wheels. But because they've routed these sides off, it's actually not uncomfortable or not digging into your leg. And it looks like they took a lot of learnings from the Patton and Sherman S combined and built one really good wheel. So I really look forward to testing it and giving our first opinion.
Alright, so that's the end of the video. Like, subscribe, and ding ding dong. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.